Okay, so I'm the author of Snapshots of the Apocalypse, which hopefully isn't quite as bleak as the title sounds. My friend Ruth, who is in Devon, will read most of one short story, which is a kind of magical realism story. Ruth's an illustrator, and she has a similar health condition to me, which is why she's going to be lying down when she reads it. So I'll hand over to Ruth now, Ruth Arnold, that is.
Hello, Katie. Hello, everybody. Just grabbing your story. I don't think I'm going to read as beautifully as the last reader, Rachel, but I do apologise. I'll do my best. It's spring. Plants are covering the earth in drifts of green, but the only vegetation inside Eva's rented flat in Evendale Street, Hammersmith, is a solitary daffodil in a plastic pot. She wanders around the flat, sighing. The floral wallpaper in the living room is faded. The chipped lime green paint in the bedroom is like the aftermath of a bad rave party, and even sunbeams creep cautiously through the windows and then retreat, realising they have come across a plate more suited to twilight. Eva looks sullenly at an Xbox and a cardboard cutout of Homer Simpson in a corner of the living room. Relics of Adam, her ex, they clutter up the space. He'd walked out on her a fortnight ago. She'd returned from work to find a goodbye note saying he wants children, while she, aged 37 now, seems unable to conceive. It ended, "We'll pop back for the rest of my things sometime." The casualness of pop still makes her want to cut Homer in half. Pop, a word for going to the corner shop, not for collecting things from someone you lived with for 5 years. "I'll give you pop," she mutters. She gathers as much of his stuff as she can hold, marches it downstairs, and dumps it into next door Skip. 3 trips to the Skip later, Eva texts Adams, "Popped all your things in number 6 Skip. Suggest you pick them up pronto." That'll teach him, she thinks, but her hands are trembling. She sits on the sofa and to distract herself, opens a favourite book about Derek Jarman's garden at Dungeness. Look at all the amazing plants the filmmaker managed to grow on a pebble beach near the nuclear power station. Peony, sweet pea, allium, borage, lavender. One sentence makes her heart jolt, and she says it aloud, tasting its encouragement. "I'd like anyone who reads this book to try some wildness in a corner." A strange idea flies to her. She hurries to the nearest garden centre, where she buys 5 bags of compost and 20 shade-loving plants. Back at the flat, she hauls the bedroom furniture down to the basement and then rushes upstairs again. By evening, dripping with sweat, Eva has replaced the double bed with something like a garden. Tall stands of pink foxgloves, white pools of wooden anemones, feathery leafed ferns. She stretches her arms out and twirls around in joy. That night, she sleeps naked on a bed of soft compost covered with a tartan rug. Next morning, Eva phones the office where she works to tell them she's sick, and then starts on the living room. In a deep bed of peat, she plants 5 young fruit trees. Around them, she puts the flowers of spring, bluebells, tulips, daffodils. Her love of clay modelling returns, and she fashions 12 birds out of clay. No larger than finches, she paints them cobalt blue with bright yellow beaks. Over a glass of wine that evening, staring at her garden, she thinks, "When did I last feel this good?"